Happy Monday, y'all. We're officially in March. Today is March 1st, 2021. In just 2 very quick weeks, we will be on spring break for a much needed week off prior to our official STAR testing season. Today, I'm going to go over the interim assessment testing. I've made a Nearpod for you. So this is just me going through the Nearpod lesson. Mine is going to look a little bit different because I'm in teacher mode, and you can see where it says preview. When you are going through your lesson, it'll be very similar, but this is not going to give away any answers. So you will need to be able to pay attention and listen and do the tasks that I asked you to do just with your own attention to the presentation. And it's only 10 slides long, so it's not too long. But I'm just going to be on the preview. Okay, so this says interim assessment testing, and you do need to answer each question. What is the STAR interim assessment? I'm wondering what that means. I know that it's not STAR test. I know that. And I'm thinking interim is probably super important because they bolded it. The people that made the presentation bolded it. So it probably has something to do with it not being the real STAR test, and that's right. This is kind of a way to look at STAR-like questions prior to the STAR test so that we can kind of see where you are, where strengths are, what you're really good at, what your weaknesses might be, so that we can maybe look at those weaknesses and try to figure out how we can help you bridge a gap or get some foundational skills for that skill set in order to improve your grade even more. So it's super exciting. Down here it says on the next slide there's a video for you to watch. Throughout the video there will be questions for you to answer along the way. Make sure to pay attention. So we are going to go through the video. I'm going to let it play out, and I know that you have seen this kind of video before. You're familiar with it. I'm positive you've done like Ed Helper videos. And this is what it looks like when a teacher sets it up. So yours might look a little bit different because this has the settings. Uh-oh, we're not ready. I hope I didn't just move the question. That's scary. Okay, so this is going to tell you about the interim assessment. And everywhere there's a blue dot, there's going to be a question, and you're going to have to pay attention to where you answer it. And I will read the questions for you, but I will not reveal the answer.
The STAR interim assessments are free, optional online tests that districts and charter schools can use to help educators track student progress.
Okay, so your first question is going to say this interim test is taken either A, online, or B, on paper. And you will choose your answer, and then it should allow you to continue.
They show valid and reliable indicators of how well a student will perform on the summative STAR test by providing valuable data to teachers so they know when intervention measures are needed to improve student understanding of the subject. STAR
Okay, so your second question will say, this test will give teachers an idea of how students will perform on A, STAR, B, a statistics test. Remember, this is just giving us an idea.
STAR interim assessments are simply a snapshot of where a student stands academically and are not a part of the state accountability system.
Your third question. Interim assessments tell where students are A, socially, or B, academically.
They are different than formative assessments, which are granular and diagnostic, assessing a single curriculum standard or a group of standards to inform immediate instruction. Interim assessments are different than the summative STAR test, which is tied to accountability and is administered at the end of the school year. Interim assessments are offered through the STAR online testing platform software, which is free and already installed in most schools, and results are reported to schools in an easy-to-use format through the online reporting suite. Schools can even give teachers access to their students' results. Testing results from the interim assessments aren't directly shared with parents and are designed to capture each student's current progress so that teachers can monitor growth and work with parents to create a plan to help their child reach his or her maximum potential.
I think this is the fourth question. Teachers can use the data from the assessment to monitor A, attention span, or B, growth. Why are we using this test? What's its purpose?
All questions on the interim assessments are developed in collaboration with Texas teachers and are fully aligned with the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, or TEKS, which means that they measure what a student is expected to learn at each grade.
All questions are aligned with the A, TEKS, B, graphs. Uh-oh, did I do that again? Oh my gosh. Lo siento. Oh no. We'll skip ahead. Oh, it saved our place. Good. Now I messed it up. I don't want to play. We'll skip. I think it was here. I think so, right? Okay. Okay, that was the one that we just answered.
Interim assessments are adaptive for some subjects. This means that based on previous answers, students are routed to one of three levels for their second set of questions.
Students will be placed in one of three levels or classrooms.
Creating a shorter test and an accurate view of where a student stands academically. While the tests don't tell the full story, they are a valuable tool that help teachers identify gaps in student understanding using specific data that is useful with instruction and in conversations with parents. STAR
This test will help teachers identify A, people that won't pass STAR, or B, gaps.
STAR interim assessments are a great teacher resource in helping to develop a student's full academic potential.
Okay, so you should have answered those questions about the video. And now I'm going to move on again, but this time for real. So your directions up here say circle or highlight the tests you are supposed to take. For example, if you are a seventh grader, mark the seventh grade tests. If you are an eighth grader, mark the eighth grade tests. So you can use your, I guess, marker down here, whatever, pick your color, and you can circle or underline, or you can use a highlighter and pick your color that you want and highlight. So again, if you're a seventh grade student, identify where the seventh grade tests are. If you're an eighth grade student, identify where your eighth grade tests are. And you can pause the video to do that, and that way you won't be rushed. You can take as much time as you need. When you're ready to get back to the next slide, just hit the play button again, and it should take pause off, and then we'll move on. So during testing, you have to remain quiet. That means no talking at all, even when you finish. Be considerate of others who are testing in the class with you, as well as those on the same hallway that you are on. So, a lot of times people think, oh, I'm finished with the test. And they look around and they see everybody else is finished with the test, and maybe their teachers even turned the test in already. And then they think it's okay to talk, but that's not the case because other people in the hallway could still be testing and they may hear you, especially when it's super quiet. Voices can carry down a hallway like echo and stuff, or if the wall is not one of the cinder block walls, it's a thinner wall and sometimes you can hear. So we don't want to do any talking. All personal electronic devices should be powered off and submitted to your test administrator. So you do need to turn them off and you do need to hand them in. You will get them back, so you don't need to worry about that. But make sure to turn it off before you hand it in. And your teacher should have sticky notes to write for you to write your name on and just put it on your electronic devices, and that way we'll know whose belongs to whose. Um, Handle the school issued device that you are testing on with care. Remember, this is going to be an online test, so everybody's going to have some kind of computer or laptop, something like that, and you need to handle it with care. Just because it doesn't belong to you personally doesn't mean it's okay to destroy, because that kind of affects all the fun stuff that we get to do at school. When y'all are complaining that you're bored and stuff, sometimes we just don't have what we need to make you not very bored. So make sure and take care of what you're borrowing from the district. Remain in your seat. When people get up and walk around, there are some people that are have shorter attention spans, and if they see movement, their head goes towards the movement. So if a bunch of people are up and walking around, then their head's tracking those people, and they're not focused on their assessment. So remain in your seat. Raise your hand for questions or assistance. Y'all already do that, so you already know how to do that. And no sleeping during the test. Not during, not while you're taking it. Do your absolute best. Here's a little side note. This test will only be given on campus. If you were a virtual student that plans on testing, you will need to arrive on campus that morning. If you do come, your parents may make arrangements to pick you up once the announcement is made that testing is over. So this is not a test that you can take from home. This is a test that has to be taken on campus, very, very similarly to the 7th grade benchmark. So you would need to get here in enough time that you were able to stand in our line to have your temperature taken. And then you would have to find out what class you were going to, and then you would need to go and get settled in. So you'd need to make sure you arrive in enough time. Students, remember to get a good night's sleep. Be sure to eat a good breakfast. Make sure you arrive to school on time. Be in dress code. Wear your student ID. Bring a book. And here's another little side note. You are allowed to read after you complete the test and submit your testing materials. So the only thing pretty much that you can do as far as an activity is just read. That's it. If you're not reading, then you're just sitting quietly. No visitors on campus during test times, and all backpacks. And this is going to include backpacks, bags, purses, lunch boxes, all of those things. All backpacks will be placed in a designated area by the teacher. We have to make sure and monitor that so that we can verify that you're not getting in there and getting some answers somewhere. After the test, you will maintain, that means you'll keep doing, a silent testing environment until the announcement is made. Notice it keeps saying the announcement is made. That testing is over for the entire school, not over for you, not over for your class, but for the entire school, they will make an announcement. We have to wait for that announcement. Respect others that may still be testing. You can read a book or sleep when you're done with your test. There are no other options. So the two absolute, well, besides sitting quietly, the two things that you can do after your test are read a book, and it can't be a magazine, it can't be a newspaper, it can't be anything like that. It has to be a book. Or you can sleep, or you can just sit quietly. You will not get your devices back until after the announcement is made. So just because you've turned in your test, just because other people have all turned in their test, we cannot have devices handed back. We have to wait until that announcement is made that it's okay. In other words, I have to have permission to give them back to you. And I will not give them back to you until I get permission. Is this freezing up? Okay, so this is a time to climb. I don't know if I can do it without, okay. I'll read them to you, but I'm not going to answer the questions. What are students allowed to do once they are finished testing? Sit quietly, go get on electronic devices as long as they are quiet, talk, or draw quietly. I can keep my electronic devices with me if I prove that they are turned off and put away. True or false? I need to stay seated unless a teacher gives me permission to get up or move. True or false? Okay, this question says, is it okay to sleep during the test? Yes or no? I will be able to get my electronic devices back from the teacher when I turn in my test. True or false? I will be able to get my electronic devices back from the teacher once everyone in my class finishes the test. True or false? If everyone in my class is finished testing, I think I messed up on that word, is finished testing, I can talk to someone as long as it's a whisper. True or false? Virtual students can test from home. True or false? I will be able to get my electronic devices from the teacher once an announcement is made that testing is over. True or false? This test isn't the real START test, so it doesn't matter if I do my best. True or false? And then you will move on. I think it tells you your results. And then this is just a note for your teachers to remember. It says, please take this time to inform students of their assigned seats in your room for interim testing. So we are supposed to assign you seats ahead of time. You do not get to choose where you sit. The teacher will place you where you need to be for your best interest. But we're supposed to let you know that prior to your test beginning the next day. And it's just a reminder you got this. Tests can be stressful sometimes, but you've been practicing for this, so you're going to do fine. It's okay. Relax. All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow when you get on campus. Talk to you later. Bye.